Hello everybody, and welcome to episode 1 of the Tristan Exposes original series, Ancient Civilizations. Part 1. The Vanished City of Sanxingdui. In 1986 China, a group of workers in Sichuan in an archaeological site we now know as Sanxingdui were shoveling clay like any other day, until their tools hit something that wasn't rock, wasn't metal, and definitely wasn't human. When they brushed the soil away, they uncovered a face, long, sharp, stretched, with eyes that bulged like they were built to watch something we can't even perceive. And then another, and another. A whole buried world of gold leaf trees, shattered idols, and bronze masks, so immaculately strange, alien, and amazing that even China, a civilization with 5,000 years of recorded knowledge, had no idea who made them. The discovery was so strange, so out of place, that some archaeologists quietly questioned everything they knew to have been historically recorded in Sichuan in the last 4,460 years. And the deeper they dug, the stranger it got. Before China had dynasties, before the Great Wall, before written history even began, there may have been another civilization. A culture so advanced, so strange, so unlike anything around it, that archaeologists still struggle to place it on the timeline. The people of Sanxingdui didn't carve simple masks. They forged towering bronze faces with eyes stretched outward as if watching the heavens. They built golden trees that spired upward like lightning frozen in metal. They crafted statues of beings with long arms, rigid posture, and expressions that look less human and more like messengers. And the legends? The local stories speak of sky gods descending to teach early humans. Ancient texts from nearby regions mentioned spirits with shining faces who brought order to chaos. Some researchers quietly suggest that Sanxingdui wasn't just a city, it was a ritual center. A place where people believed they could communicate with something beyond themselves. Others go further, whispering that the masks weren't meant to represent humans at all. They were meant to represent the ones who came before us. And for a moment, standing in front of those giant bronze eyes, you almost believe it. The legend sounds incredible, but this is where everything shifts. Because once the excitement faded and the artifacts were cleaned, catalogued, and studied, the stories stopped looking supernatural. The bronze masks weren't scattered by time, they were smashed deliberately, as if someone wanted to erase the faces they once worshipped. In July 1946, when the first pit of these relics was discovered by the clay miners, the things they uncovered consisted of bronze heads, scattered pieces of jade, and massive elephant tusks. The second pit was discovered 1 month later, and this is where the real interesting stuff begins. Because when you think about it, relics like the gold tree weren't broken or scattered, but carefully confiscated for future generations to discover until now. These immaculate sculptures of this seemingly abandoned civilization buried without a trace until they were stumbled upon 4,460 years later. But this way they were buried specifically puzzled scientists and made them question if it was some ancient religion, if it really was aliens, and if this civilization could still exist. And if it does, where are they now? This story is more than a mysterious disappearance of a civilization, or their possible interactions with old beings from other worlds. It's about the environmental shift in their world at that time. Archaeologists studying the soil layers found signs of a massive environmental shift. Drought, flooding, or an earthquake that may have cut off the river system the Sanxingdui people depended on. When their water vanished, their civilization followed. The smashed masks and other items? They could have been made in a last attempt to appease whatever force they had believed abandoned them. The gold tree? It wasn't a cosmic device, it was a ceremonial centerpiece, dismantled during the coming of a cataclysm. And the disappearance? It wasn't sudden, it wasn't mysterious. Evidence shows the Sanxingdui culture moved east, merging with what would later be the Shu Kingdom, carrying their traditions with them. A civilization faced with a reckoning that barely escaped with their lives, fighting till the end. But if the Sanxingdui people moved east to eventually integrate with the Shu Kingdom, it still leaves a lot of the story in the dark. Take their entire religion, for example. We don't know exactly who these gods they worshipped were. Could it have been an ancient form of higher beings that helped them create their culture they based their religion around? Or the spirits they believed to have helped them? Did they bury it all so the world would forget? Or did they leave it as an ancient time capsule that they knew would later be discovered, in the only way they knew to preserve it from drought, flood, or an earthquake? Could the environmental shift have broken the masks? Or did they? And if they did, why? Because for civilizations to destroy their own god, something would have to have terrified them. If that did happen to Sanxingdui, it wasn't a peaceful migration. It wasn't a cultural shift. It was a response. But the craziest thing for me is the timing. Because angry at their gods or not, they knew something was coming, and they left before it hit. But how exactly did they know? Because you can't anticipate when an earthquake, a drought, or a flood will come easily. And there's a lot of evidence to suggest it was preemptive, because if it was a drought, they would have had to have started heading east before it hit, so they would have had enough food and water on their journey. If it was a flood, they couldn't have buried the items, because the holes they dug would have been filled back in by mud and water as they attempted to dig them. And in an earthquake, they couldn't have buried all their religious items after it, because they could have been destroyed by the force or damaged, so it's more likely they were buried before, or at least most of the items were. The only way for them to know these things is if they were quite advanced and aware of their climate. I believe they could have been much more advanced than we ever imagined. We already know that they had a functioning society, with religion, farmers, government, everything. They might have had a lifestyle more harmonious than the one we live in today. They could have had an intimate understanding of the earth they lived on, as many ancient cultures do for farming, and could be used to know when an environmental disaster was about to happen and leave before it hits. There is significant evidence of their scientific advancement as well, like their highly advanced metallurgy for precise mixtures of copper and lead to create massive and hollow bronze statues, and other things like the structural engineering of support rods to keep the clay mods from breaking during metal pours. There's still so much we don't know. Maybe their secrets didn't survive, or maybe they're still out there, buried beneath centuries of silence, waiting for us to uncover them. What we've found is only the tip of the iceberg. The real story is deeper, stranger, and far from over. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. It's a really interesting concept, talking about and discovering these ancient civilizations and everything that remains a mystery about them. And this is only the first part of a new series of ancient civilizations videos, so there's just so much cool and interesting content to come in the future that I'm probably working on right now as you watch this video. Another cool new thing is my other YouTube channel, Tristan. You can see it if you scroll down on the home section on my channel page. This is my personality channel. It ranges from everything from gym content to cool drawings I do in comedy skits. This channel will be awesome because I haven't been able to post recently, due to a lot of things going on for me, trying to balance school, YouTube, and my life recently. And this channel will make it easier to post consistently, since it will be daily uploads of mainly short form content. And the times when I'm struggling to post on Tristan Exposes, I will be able to on Tristan Thorson. So it would be really great if you could subscribe and check out my videos on that channel to help support me as a creator. And if you're new to Tristan Exposes, make sure to like, subscribe, and click that notifications bell so you know when my next video comes out. And this is another one of my videos I think you'd like. Don't let me hold you up from watching it. Thanks for watching, I hope you have a fantastic day or night. Tristan Exposes, out.